Hi everyone. So last week I went to something around here called the world's largest yard sale, and it was pretty awesome. I can't in fact confirm if it was actually the largest, but it was pretty huge. They had all kinds of stuff. They had multiple indoor places set up, they had multiple outdoor places set up, and it was a beautiful day, so a lot of people were selling stuff. It was a really cool experience, and it was kind of similar to a flea market, but except I think it's only like a once a year thing. They do it for a weekend, so I went there, spent a couple hours there, got some cool 90s stuff, and I wanted to share it in the hopes that it would bring back some good memories. Alright, so the first thing I picked up there were a bunch of old 90s CDs. Some of them are early 2000s as well, but it's from that whole era. It was a stand, they had a ton of CDs, and they were selling them for $1 each, so I figured, why not? Even, I mean, at this point I don't listen to CDs very often, with everything's just digital now, but just to have for the collection, I thought it'd be pretty cool. So first one I've got here is Alanis Morissette, Jagged Little Pill. Probably one of the most classic CDs of the 90s. It's got all kinds of hits. Ironic, You Ought to Know, You Learn, so much. I apologize in advance also for any reflections. I've got a window right behind me. I'm trying to do my best to avoid having a bad reflection on here, but hopefully you could at least see everything. Next CD we've got here is TLC, Crazy Sexy Cool. So that was another kind of mid-90s classic. I want to say it was about 94 maybe. Sounds about right. It's got waterfalls on there. Great stuff. And then got another TLC one in here. This is later. This is Fan Mail. So this was later 90s. This had No Scrubs and Unpretty on it. They had all kinds of 90s hits. And next we've got Sarah McLachlan, Mirrorball. This has all kinds of good stuff on it. Building a Mystery, Adia, I Will Remember You. Definitely a lot of good 90s stuff on there. And we've got good old Shaggy with Boombastic. Another mid-90s one. This was It Wasn't Me. A little bit earlier than that. Sorry, there's a really bad reflection on this one, but get the idea. And next we have Natalie Merchant with Tiger Lily. She's really great. She has some great songs. This is a good album. It's got Carnival and Wonder, I think, were the two biggest hits off there. Really, I guess I was really looking at the mid-90s. A lot of the stuff I've shown so far has been mid-90s. So heading to the later 90s now with Destiny's Child, The Writings on the Wall. Huge album. This has everything. Jumpin' Jumpin', Say My Name, Bugaboo. Great stuff. Some TRL classics on there. Next we got a single from Christina Aguilera, Genie in a Bottle. Excellent song. Might be my personal favorite 90s song. Another good TRL song. Then we've got Joan Osborne with Relish. So this, of course, has One of Us on it. And then we've got a little bit into the early 2000s here, Michelle Branch with The Spirit Room. So that was still kind of that same era, still that like TRL type era. And then we have Britney Spears, Oops, I Did It Again. Doesn't get too much more classic than that. I think this was also 2000, but we're in that whole era. It's got Oops, I Did It Again, Stronger, Don't Let Me Be the Last to Know, Lucky, just everything. She was huge. I mean, she still is, I guess, but she was especially huge during that time period. And then I had to pick this one up. I couldn't resist it. The Space Jam soundtrack. I mean, come on. What is more 90s than Space Jam? Not too much. They're apparently making a Space Jam 2 soon with LeBron James, but I don't know if it could quite equal this one. What could, really? Then we're going to finish it up. We've got two more. We've got NSYNC with their first album. It's got Tearing Up My Heart. A bunch of other classics on it. Look at young Justin Timberlake. And then, of course, we've got their rivals. Well, not really their rivals, but fans were certainly rivals. The Backstreet Boys with Millennium. So, I mean, talk about a huge album. This has larger than life. I Want It That Way, Show Me the Meaning of Being Lonely. I mean, they were pretty much on top of the world at this point. So that's it for the CDs. But something else I picked up at this yard sale was some Ninja Turtle figures. I came across a stand that had all kinds of old action figures, and they had a whole bin full of Ninja Turtles ones. The vintage figures from the 80s and 90s were generally ranging from, I think, about $3 to $7. I don't think I saw any less than $3. I don't think I saw any more than $7, which I thought was very reasonable. So I bought a couple. I got 4 altogether. And they didn't come with accessories or anything like that, but still, I thought it was pretty cool. So the first one we've got is April O'Neil. Just probably one of the most famous, or probably the biggest character other than the Turtles in the whole Ninja Turtles universe. And I had April when I was a kid, and she's actually one of the only figures I lost throughout the year, so I've always been kind of upset about that. So I was really excited to see that they had her. And I think it was only about $5, so even without accessories, I thought that was a really good deal. So there is April O'Neil. Then we've got Shell Kickin' Raph. So this is supposed to be Raphael as a soccer player, part of the sports series of Turtles. And this is pretty cool because for anyone who watched my Ninja Turtles collection video, action figure collection, I have 2 other of the sports series. I've got Slam Dunkin' Don, which is Donatello as a basketball player, and TD Tossin Leo, which is Leonardo as a football player. So now I've got Raphael as a soccer player, so we're almost complete. So I figured I had to pick that up. I thought that was cool. And then we have Tattoo, who I guess looks like he's kind of supposed to be a sumo wrestler or something. Honestly, Tattoo is one of the characters that I don't remember at all from the original Ninja Turtles cartoon. What I remember him from, when you would get the action figures, the Turtles action figures, on the back, they would always have pictures of other action figures in the series, and I remember Tattoo being on that, but I couldn't tell you anything about him other than that. But I saw him, this one actually was only $3, so again, even without accessories or anything, I thought that was a really good price. I mean, it's part of the original collection, so I figured I had to pick it up. And then the last figure I got here was Ace Duck. He was one of the earlier characters in the action figure line, so he's one that I always kind of wanted to get over the years. So when I saw him, he was actually one of the first ones I saw when I was going through the bin, and I thought I had to pick him up. I couldn't turn that down. So I think he was only $4 or $5, which I thought was a great deal. So happy to have him, and now I just need to find a spot on my shelf where I have room for these new figures. And then the very last thing that I got here, couldn't resist this. It's Christina Aguilera magazine. It's called Backstage Pass. It was 75 cents. How could you turn that down? It's just got a bunch of, it's kind of like a scrapbook type thing. It's got just a bunch of different pictures and a little bit of information on her. It looks like it had to be from about her early days in around 99 or so. So definitely couldn't turn that down. I thought that was pretty great. Had to show that too. So that was everything from my adventures at the world's largest yard sale. Hopefully, it's starting to get nicer out. It's still early in the year, not quite summer yet, and hopefully I'll keep going to yard sales or flea markets or those type of things as the summer progresses, and I'll be able to find more cool 90s stuff and show it off, and hopefully it will get everybody to relive some good memories.